Yo, 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 yo. What's up, Hobby Lobby? All right. So, as many of y'all probably already know at this moment, I actually made a reaction video to the Lil Nas X Montero music video. It got copyright banned. So, since that's out of commission right now, I wanted to actually have a conversation about what was going on with Lil Nas X because it's been popping up everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, the news. You talk about it everywhere you go, somebody's talking about it. So I wanted to actually bring on Ben Fama Jr., get a progressive perspective on it, and we'll see what we agree and see what we disagree about all the hype that's going on with Lil Nas X. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it.
1 in a million to 1 billion. Too hot to be in the kitchen. I'll end up melting the ceiling.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, Javier? How you doing today, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I can't complain. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I was trying to find a pair of satanic shoes, but I couldn't find any online. So you know how it is.
Yeah. A lot of controversy with this one. I want to jump head first into it. I noticed you had a lot to say about the subject, and I got a few things to say about it. Did you see the Lil Nas X video?
Yeah, and I got a lot to say too, but I didn't get a chance. You said that you had gotten banned or something, and so I'm actually interested in your opinion first because I didn't get a chance to really hear your side of it. So go ahead and
I actually played the video on my channel. I did a live reaction to it because it was my first time seeing it, and I actually ended up playing the whole video. Apparently, you're not supposed to do that. So my reaction was basically. I thought the visuals of it were very creative. Yeah, definitely creative on that front. I didn't really like the song per se. It's not something that I would listen to. Yeah. And as far as some of the things he did, which got everybody, on their toes, especially conservatives and the Christian types, is the lap dance that he did with Satan. And I actually got a picture that I think so we can show it for those people who don't actually know. Let's see if I can get it up here. Can y'all see that? Yeah. So he basically did a lap dance with Satan, and that's what got everybody going crazy. I personally thought that it was creative, but I understand the outrage for a few reasons, and I think we can get into that. But go ahead and tell me kind of like your impressions about the video.
Yeah, I agree with you, and especially because I thought visually it was a really well-made video. Like whoever directed it, the set designer, the camera. I mean, it really was a super creative video. I was very, very impressed with the stylistic of it. Like you, I'm probably not really into the music. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's not really my style, so I can't critique that either way. I like the fact that he was pushing boundaries. He was doing something that was different. You know what I mean? And especially being from the LGBTQ community, it's like, it's actually pushing the boundaries a little bit. I think it's a form of self-expression, which is what I always like. It's a form of free speech, and it doesn't mean that I would make a video like that or that it's like, oh, it's the greatest thing in the world. But I don't think it's as big a deal. I see why people may not like it. But I like that he pushed the boundaries. I like that he tried to do something different, and I think it worked out for him. So,
yeah, and this brings me into my problem with it. I think Lil Nas X portrayed himself as somebody who makes music for children. He even said it himself that his target audience were children. Came straight out of his mouth. One of his most popular songs that actually got him to fame is the dancing song, Can't Nobody Tell Me Nothing.
The Cowboy Road song, or what? I don't know him that much, so.
Old Town Country Road or something like that.
Yeah.
And kids love the song, and this is the audience that he said he was targeting. And then for him to break out with this is kind of shocking. And I'm not necessarily talking about specifically him having satanic imagery. I'm more concerned with the fact that he's doing a lot of sexual things in the video that could be promoting a certain type of lifestyle or behavior that I'm pretty sure a lot of parents don't want their kids watching. And if you let your kids listen to Lil Nas X because you think he's somebody that's making kid-friendly music, and next thing you know, you find out that your kids been watching Lil Nas X do a lap dance on Satan, I can understand the outrage, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you to an extent because this is the problem that back in the day with like 2 Live Crew, man, I followed that. I was a huge fan of 2 Live Crew as a kid. I realized like, what the fuck? I would never let my kids listen to 2 Live Crew now. But so I agree with you in the sense of maybe if they're under 18, there should be more of I wouldn't say for him to not do it. It's our responsibility as parents really to be, making sure our kids aren't watching that, whatever. I agree with it. If he's trying to target kids, I don't really know what the situation is at because I don't really follow a lot of the pop culture because I think a lot of this stuff is silly in the first place. But I thought about that back even when 2 Live Crew had their album was that I didn't mind that they put parental advisory stuff on there because I think, you should know whether or not this is something maybe kids should. It gives the parents at least the opportunity to say, hey, maybe this is not something they're ready for right now. After that, though, I don't think there's any premise that there should be any reason why he shouldn't have done what he did. So, I agree with you when it comes to the kid part of it, if he's trying to target kids. But as an artist,
he did a whole tour going to like schools and stuff like that, actually engaging with kids. So I could see how parents would be under the assumption that, put Lil Nas X playlist on your phone or whatever. And, it to me, I would have rathered him come out and express like, hey, I'm going to be coming out with some more content, but it's going to be geared towards adults. So for any of the parents out there or the people who actually enjoy my music or let their kids listen to it, I just want to give y'all a heads up that I'm switching gears here. And I don't think there was no groundwork before that. And I think you should be responsible as somebody who's, have a target audience that you are informing people of the actual content that you're putting out in a way.
It's funny because that seems to happen a lot. Like that happened with Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus. They were very content kid friendly, and then they as they grew or they changed their career style, whatever, they evolved into more adult content. So I think there is a case for both sides. That again, being parents sometimes it's difficult because maybe your kids aren't ready to see that yet. Of course, when I think back when we were kids, we listened to shit all it made us want to listen to it even more. Again, listen to 2 Live Crew when I was like, it's 6th grade. Like, what am I doing listening to that shit? But again, I do. But I don't think I was ever really opposed to parental advisory stuff because I think it is important that parents know what's going on with their kids. So yeah, I think there's an argument there for sure. But after that, I think a lot of the things that people are saying, especially a lot of the Christians, I think is straight bullshit. And I think they're making a whole scene for artistic expression, which they've done since the time of Elvis. They've done it with Madonna, Michael Jackson. It's the satanic panic that they've always tried to do. And now they're trying to cancel him. I'm like, well, what's cancel culture about if you're trying to cancel this dude? Like if it's about the kids, okay, I'll give you that. But if it's just artistic expression and you're a grown adult, what is the reason for canceling this guy?
Yeah. This is the next phase that I wanted to get into about the whole outrage and trying to actually. I'm very tempted to not use the word cancel. Sometimes we can confuse outrage with people actually trying to go out of their way and make sure this guy could never work again, or to completely exclude him from eating or paying his bills. And I'm not sure on how far conservatives or at least the Christians are going to try to make sure this guy can never, make music or be on the radio again. And that's, in my opinion, that's cancel culture to me. It's more of we're calling all of your ad sponsors and all the people that fund you, and we're trying to get them to kick you from the radio. We're trying to get people not to fund you, not hold or host any of your events. To me, that's cancel culture. Do you know about anybody going to that extent of trying to actually make sure this guy can't make any more music or put it out?
The only thing I remember seeing, and obviously this can't be a broad blanket because it's only one person I've seen so far, because again, I follow this, but I didn't follow it closely because I thought it was kind of stupid. So my apologies if I don't know everything about this. There was a politician, I think it was a congresswoman, who stated even something about canceling, about this is a reason for us to cancel someone like this. Obviously, it's her one opinion, but again, she's a politician saying stuff like this is a reason to be canceled. Now, I'd have to go back to remember which one it was. I just remember coming across it, and that's what kind of triggered me when I actually made the post about it, because I was like, wait a minute, dude, like, you're talking about cancel culture, and in your post, exactly, at least to this politician, she's talking about this is a more justifiable reason for canceling somebody. I'm like, well, what's the reason? Like, what is he that he's actually doing? He's not breaking the law. He's being artistic. It's like at most he, used the copyright brand of Nike, but that's a civil matter. You know what I mean? Between Nike and them. I mean, fine. But what is
I want to talk about that as well, about the shoes, but go ahead and finish your point.
So that's one of the examples I've seen. And like I said, there may be more, I don't know. Like I said, sometimes with this pop culture stuff, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I only follow it for a limited amount of time. But so that's my only example. So far.
Yeah. All right. So for y'all who don't know, and I'm reading the comments here, we're going to finish the conversation and then I'll kind of go through the comments or answer questions. So if you have a question about something, just put a Q, a big uppercase Q in front of your sentence. That way I'll know it's a question. But let's show the people the actual picture of the shoes. Because I got this. Let's see. Here we go. Can y'all see that? All right. So apparently these specific shoes right here have 1 drop of blood in them. And people are pissed about it. Not just about the drop of blood, but you could probably see there's a pendant, a satanic pendant on the front of the shoe. And I think he only made like 666 pair of shoes and they all going for over $1,000 a piece. For a pair. Look, I'm the first one to say, whether you like the shoes or you dislike the shoes, I agree with his ability to express himself. And if this is a marketing scheme or something for him to try to make money, because it seems like it's working, people are talking about it. What do you think about the shoes?
I think it's a brilliant marketing scheme, honestly. And like, I'm not like, it is kind of weird that they put a drop of blood in it, but that just adds, I mean, obviously it adds to the story. I mean, it's marketing. It really, in the end, it's a product. He's trying to make money, sell a product. I mean, he's an entrepreneur and this is how he does it, and so it's the free market. If people don't want to buy it, they don't buy it. Other than that, there's not really any real harm to it, and it's funny. I actually wanted a pair just because it's a great marketing thing. Like, I don't even really like sneakers. I'm not into Nike, but what it represents is unique. And he made scarcity. Scarcity is a big thing in marketing. He only made 666 of it. It was a great marketing thing. I don't care what anybody says. It's great marketing. Now, people may not like it, and that's okay. There's a lot of things we don't like when people use very unique, outlandish marketing. A lot of people do that with their businesses and do shock stuff, but I mean, other than that, I don't think there's anything deeper. He's not trying to promote Satanism. I don't think he's really trying. He's trying to make an expression, and he's trying to make money in a business. I mean, that's what it is, Now,
I heard the argument, and I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here, right? I heard the argument that whether you believe in Satan or not, the fact that Satan represents evil and is supposed to represent that which is not good or that which hates good, promoting satanic imagery or satanic, however you want to put it, it sends the wrong message that people should be in love with darkness or evil or somehow run away from good. Now, I totally disagree with that argument, but what would you say to somebody who actually brings that up?
That's a crap argument. That is such a crap argument because, okay, so then what are we going to do? Get rid of the sun devils? We're going to get rid of devil dogs in the military? Like anything to do with the devil? You know what I mean? Like deviled eggs? I mean, what the fuck? Like there's a point where like, what are you talking about here? It's a form of expression. Like that's really what a lot of people, when they're in the satanic culture, is. It's not that they believe in Satan. It's just a form of an expression. And you're not anymore, I'm sorry, you're not anymore good because you believe in religion. Like flooding an entire goddamn planet of killing people is not, so if I put, and people will watch the Passion of Christ, watching Christ getting his ass beat bloody to death and be like, well, that's okay. It's okay watching some guy getting bloody to death on screen and violence that way. But hey, some kids making an expression about something that has to do with it. Satan is an expression of not evil. It's an expression. You even said it, an expression of rebellion. You know,
Yeah.
Now, if he started doing stuff like sacrificing people and hanging people and killing people, yeah, of course. But the guy's just making art. And this is the problem with art. A lot of times artists are, they did this with Marilyn Manson too. You know what I mean? They try to say, oh, he was being satanic. No, they're just expressing themselves as artists. What the fuck is the difference between a comic book character and if someone in a movie plays a demon in a comic book character or the bad guy, is that bad? Like, what is he trying to promote when it comes to Satanism here? Literally, what is he saying to like kill God or go kill your family? There's nothing he's doing. He's making an expression to how he feels. That's it. It's just fucking art, people. Like, I don't understand.
What do you say to the people who say that the blood in the shoes is a biohazard? That's actually dangerous for people to have blood in their shoes.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's just a little drop of blood. I don't agree with it because, I mean, look, that could be a health hazard. I know it's a very small amount, so it's not like it's not worth the criticism of it. I mean, it's funny because it's, you know, it's a tactic or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you know, there's health things you would want to worry about and stuff. So I think that's a legitimate argument. Like, should you be doing that, putting like biohazard waste, even though it's a small amount? But yeah, I mean, that's a legitimate argument, I think, for people. But there's been a lot of products that have had that kind of stuff. Don't quote me on this. Don't quote me on this. I thought there was something that was similarly related to Apple. I don't remember. Don't quote me on that. I thought there was something that was similarly related to Apple. Maybe it was just signatures in it. I thought there was some other product that they did the same thing where they put like blood or something in it, but I don't know. I have to look that up. So don't take my word on it. But yeah, I mean, challenging the biohazard part, I think that makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
You know.
All right. So we're going to talk about the actual case with Nike. And I just want to let anybody know who just joined. If you put a Q in front of it, we will get to the question after we finish the conversation. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that like button. That really matters for the YouTube algorithm. I got to do it. But let's get into the actual situation with Nike is actually suing him for the shoe situation. So I'm gonna pull this up right here and read a little bit of it. So this is Nike sues over Lil Nas X Satan shoes with human blood and soles. Nike filed a federal trademark infringement lawsuit Monday against the company that released a controversial customized version of its sneakers in a collaboration with the rapper Lil Nas X. Basically, the company is known for creating controversial and viral products, confirmed Sunday that the shoes contained a drop of human blood inside the sole, drawn from members of the MSCHF team. Mm-hmm. All 666 pairs of the modified Nikes priced at $10.18. I want to get Nike filed the suit. Lil Nas X was not named as a defendant after many people said they believed it was involved with the shoes, even though it released a statement over the weekend saying it had nothing to do with them. The lawsuit argues that Nike must maintain control over its brand by setting the record straight about what products bear its distinctive swoosh logo. So you tell me, what do you think? Does Nike have a case? Do you think Nike is being a little uptight on this?
No, because I actually agree with Nike to the extent that like they do have a brand and image, and they didn't ask permission for that brand and image on his stuff. Like, had he legally had a contract or signed with a shoe company, and I think I do disagree with what Lil Nas did there, but to an extent, because it's kind of weird. I thought about this. I'm like, okay, if I print a shirt made of Hanes, like I used to work for a shirt printing company and where we make stickers and stuff like that, and yeah, we would use Hanes and Fruit of the Loom shirts to print shirt. In fact, this shirt, is a custom shirt, but Hanes and Fruit of the Loom make it. So are they? Maybe it's different because maybe they purposely give blank shirts for people to do that and give permission. So if Nike gave that permission, it's really tough, because if I took a Nike right now and I decided to make it creative and I sold it on eBay, does Nike have a right to come after me when I've already bought the product? You know what I mean? Like, so it's. Maybe they do. Maybe they have a right to do it. I understand Nike's case for it. You know what I mean? And I think Lil Nas should have at least gotten with the manufacturer, and gotten a contract for that. I think it would have saved him a lot of headache and trouble. Yeah. I agree with that.
I think if I buy something from you and I decide to alter it to my own favor, I'm under the impression that should be fair game. As long as like I own a pair of Jordans. If I decide to write something on my pair of Jordans, is that cause for them to sue me if they don't like what I wrote on the pair of Jordans. I think that they probably wouldn't come after somebody like me, but for somebody who's actually big enough to impact their brand, I could kind of understand them going after them for it.
Yeah.
But what kind of statement are you making? Are you saying that once you buy my product, that we still can control and dictate what you do with that product? And I mean, Honda could sue you for altering your Honda Accord if they felt like it misrepresented their brand, right?
Well, I think but I do think there's a difference. It's a difference between you altering the product and then you reselling the product onto the market. So it's one thing if you own the product and you're changing it for your own, like if you have a Honda and it's your own thing, but if you start altering Honda and then selling it under the Honda brand as this new version line that they didn't approve of, now you are getting into the copyright infringement of it. It'd be the same thing as if someone took the Javier name and show, but it was completely different. And you're like, it's one thing if somebody watched it, how they were going to watch it, but it's another thing if they started putting content in your name on a YouTube channel, and that happens to me all the time. People steal my films and they remake them and a lot of times I actually let it go. Like if it's, like if they're trying to actually talk about it, whatever, I don't ever give people copyright infringement, but when they start remaking it to their own, and they start thinking that channel is the actual film or whatever, I'm like, that's not my brand. That's not, you stole my shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's one thing if he was probably better off just finding a shoe manufacturer company. He probably would have got the same amount of press, would have got the shoes, and not had to worry about Nike on there. So I think he did make a mistake there.
You're absolutely right. And I see Scott then went off on me saying, what the hell are you talking about, Javier? Yeah, he is selling them. That's the big difference. And I kind of left that out of my whole summarization of the situation. He is actually taking their brand and reselling it after he altered it, which is a big problem. And I think Nike has a real case there. So I was wrong on that front because I left that little part out. But we're going to take some questions and we're going to actually get it started. I think I already got a few questions over here queued up. So Jank says, why are people so concerned with non-issues? We have so many other things that matter to us.
That is I ask that question every day. Like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like, like there's days you wake up and you're dealing with like real shit, trying to pay your bills, take care of your family, your car, health, like there's real shit. And then you turn on the news and you're like, this is the front page of the goddamn news. Like, this is so like, who fucking cared? Like, and then here we are talking about it, So it's like we're just as guilty for perpetuating. Like here we are talking, but I think that's the problem though, is it's like it kind of forces us to talk about. It brings up important issues in the sense that like, we're talking about copyright stuff. We're talking about like I think when you and me or people like us kind of talk about, we kind of look into the deeper stuff of it, where everyone else on the news is just being sensational, whatever. So I don't think I just think when it becomes the primary thing in the fucking news and people just like it's just like this wildfire of bullshit. It just. I don't know.
We actually given that person exactly what they wanted, and it works two ways. For one, it shows how little we think, like how small we are when any and every single thing that really doesn't affect our lives, how we get so uppity about it. And the second thing, it points out that this person is getting exactly what they wanted, and we actually the fools for giving it to them. In a sense.
Exactly. And that's why it worked. His marketing. That's why I think his marketing was genius. It worked. And I don't hate him for it. You know what I mean? Here we are talking about it. But I think that at the same time, I think the deeper conversation for a lot of other people, at least on the left, is this cancel culture when people are calling out for him to not, it's like, why are you so concerned about Dr. Seuss? And you're not like, you're concerned about racist cartoons and Dr. Seuss, but like a guy making a satanic video is like, oh, it's the end of the world because he's doing self-expression. Like, what is that? And maybe you could tell me that, Javier. Like, why is Dr. Seuss a more important issue to be like, we need to hold on to people that are making racist cartoons than someone who's making an artistic expression of, art? Why is that? They're both art. Right?
My issue with the whole Dr. Seuss thing, and we don't have to go too far into it. We're still gonna go to the questions. My whole thing with that is, how many races did Dr. Seuss make? Like, how many of the races read a Dr. Seuss book, one of those Dr. Seuss books, and came away racist because of it? I mean, I read plenty of Dr. Seuss books growing up and never once as a kid ever even thought of anything racist. Even some of those books that were on the list. Now, I'm more concerned about the people who are taking the time to find every single thing that seems a little racist or seems racist that most people don't even really think about in the large form of society, and pumping it up to be a bigger issue, I probably would have never even recognized it unless somebody pointed it out to me. But I do understand that if there was something racist, should we be actually taking the time to keep it going? And my question is, how much of an impact is it having? And if it's having a negative impact, then we should work to actually remove it from society if we can.
Well, for Dr. Seuss, I mean, at least his enterprise, I mean, for them, the impact is on their own brand. And so they don't want those type of things representing their brand anymore. And that, again, that's a free market decision. A lot of people think this is all about like freedom of speech, and maybe some things are, but some of it is just plain capitalism, man. People are like, okay, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work for my brand. These type of things aren't, it's like, well, if you want a free market, this is, if people aren't happy with your product, they're not going to buy it. So you're like, hey, but it's not unusual. I mean, I see YouTubers doing this all the time. Big time YouTubers going back and erasing old videos that don't represent who they are now. They got to be more, brand friendly and shit, So I'm sure people could go back to my past and be like, dog, you said a lot of just really. I'm just waiting for that to happen, So
I just went the other day and made some of my videos private, and not because of anything I said, it's because I recorded them in bad situations, and I was like, I'm beyond this now. Why keep like bad lighting, bad, So,
but do you think that's cancel culture for you? I mean, like, you're not. Is anybody canceling you or making you do that?
But I think one would make the argument that some of it could be self-censorship, and people are censoring themselves because they're afraid of not doing it in case they get caught later on. But it's a free country, capitalism. If you own the product, you should be able to decide whether you put it out or not. I'm 100% with you on that. Back to questions. Scott Salvage says, do you think he sells one effing shoe if he didn't put Nike on the shoe?
Yeah, I do. I think he would. The video and the controversy enough alone, I think he would have done that. I think he actually made a mistake. I don't think he intentionally did. Maybe he did. I don't know what his intentions were by doing that. I don't know why him and his people weren't cognizant of knowing, the guy's not like some unknown dude. He's got people behind him. They should have known that. His lawyer should have known that. So
yeah. So next question: do you consider theft a non-issue? I'm guessing that one was aimed at me, Scott. I hope I answered that when I said that I left that part out of it in my summary. And once you actually taking somebody else's logo or brand and actually packaging it in your own way and reselling it, I think that is an issue. I don't see any more cues over here. I see a couple comments. Disney screwed up the copyright system in the U.S. Theft is something that will be dealt with, Scott. It doesn't affect us. Lois Cypher says, Lil Nas X realized that if you ain't transgressive, then you're boring.
What does that mean?
Basically, if you're not doing something that goes against the norm or the accepted standard in society, people don't pay no attention to you. It's kind of like the same thing with like me versus Candace Owens. It's like Candace Owens says the things that are very controversial that will get rises out of people, and therefore more people are prone to give her attention versus somebody like me who might just be trying to sit down and like really fight through some of these situations. I'm not saying she doesn't do that anytime. I'm just saying that being a provocateur is very, very beneficial.
You actually bring up a very, very good point. I was actually just learning about, there was a documentary I just saw yesterday about this, how we have to become more sensational to get noticed through the algorithms, because people like you and me, I mean, I know I'm pretty well outspoken for stuff, but there's times I'm generally trying to have like real conversations, kind of like what you have, and it doesn't get caught in the algorithm because it's not sensational enough. And these other people that are have bigger audiences of people like you and me, they're stealing all of the algorithm time because they're sensationalized. And that's what everything is now. Everything, social media is just sensationalism. It's the only thing that gets the clicks. A real conversation, like with someone like you and me, it's going to get buried in the algorithm. And so how do you and me survive as media content creators? If we want to make a living doing this kind of stuff and have a real living, not trying to be like some fucking rich and famous like saying, hey, we want to give a good product to people, and we really want to like generally have good conversations when we can and talk shit when we want to. But the reality is that how do we do that and not be so sensationalist that we have to fight all these other sensational people out there? So
I think that that's a good place to actually leave it. I didn't want to have a whole hour and a half conversation.
Cool.
I think, yeah. But hey Ben, I saw your video on Amazon. Well done. I don't agree with your narrative, but the video was well done, high quality.
Scott, I appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I was just watching a virus call film on Amazon Prime. Go check it out, folks. Definitely good stuff. I'm glad you did the video. I haven't finished it, but I'm like halfway through it. So cool. Definitely good stuff. Go check it out. Plug yourself, anything you want people to know about before we get out of here.
So yeah, you can check me out on my YouTube channel, Ben Fama Jr, F-A-M-A Jr. You can check out my website too, benfamajr.com. I am rebooting my website, or my my YouTube channel. So stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing stuff here. Obviously, I'll be doing stuff with Javier too. So if you guys are just joining us, me and him are getting a podcast. We're both like redoing our studios and doing stuff. So just stay tuned. But you can check me out there. So.
All right, definitely. Thank y'all so much for watching. If y'all haven't already, please go sign up at the Discord channel. I'll be heading over there as soon as this conversation is done for a few minutes to actually, chop it up with anybody who wants to talk. We will be in the politics voice channel. So go join the Discord. Link is in the description below. And if you haven't already, please go join patreon.com/the Javier Show for $5.99 a month. Please support your boy. I love doing these videos. I love connecting with people and having these conversations. The only way I can continue to do this is if, the people who hear this content and enjoy it supports it. Exactly. Thank y'all so much, and peace and glory. We are out.
1 in a million to one villain. Too hot to be in the kitchen. I'll end up melting the ceiling.